Yeah, let's start with reading out and getting a sense of where we're all joining from. And so nice to see some familiar faces as well here too. So Victoria, thanks. Like good to see you as well. Um, we have Aileen from the Netherlands, Utrecht. Julie, hi Julie, from Yorkshire Dales. Richard, hi. Arzu from London, same as me. Um, Yeah, we have Carolyn in Surrey, Dermot, hi Dad, from Scotland, the Cairngorms, Linda, Oxfordshire, Penny from Broadbottom, Aileen in Whitstable, also rainy here in London as well. Although the sun, it kind of tricks us. It comes out and then you think it's safe and then it starts raining again. So yeah, it's been um, not the greatest weather at the moment in the UK. For those of you who aren't in the UK, we've been having really terrible storms. So yeah, it's they're still quite raging. Um, Paul from Stratford-on-Avon, Yola from London, Joyce from the Netherlands as well, Kathleen Edinburgh, Cynthia, Pacific Coast, Pacific Northwest of the US, Katya in Switzerland, Jen in Salford, Denise, East Yorkshire, Jenny in Devon, Camille in Worksop, Fiona in Manchester, Martha also in Manchester, Deb in Oregon, Mike from Toxteth, Kerry in New Jersey, Valerie in Brussels, Lizzie in Old Tumpton. Oh, hi, Lizzie. Penny in London, John in London, Saurav in India, Mumbai, Jackie in Manchester, Karen in Canada, Chris in Austria, Lorian in Southern California, Dorotto in London, Norm in Notts, Bridget in Suffolk, Teresa in Preston, Suzanne in Germany, Tamas in Kent, got Carl Kalpna, um, Michelle in Wolverhampton, Marita in West Midlands, Sue in Glasgow, a few calling in from coming in from Scotland, Karen in Maidenhead, and LR, the initials in Minnesota, and Chiaki in Milton Keynes. So maybe we'll get a few more messages coming through. So feel free to read those. But a really nice global group. Everyone is very spread out today. So it's interesting. When I was just asked to do this, cover this a couple of hours ago. And when I was doing a little bit of quick planning earlier, I looked to see the last time I covered Space to Breathe, and it was this time, or at least I think I actually have covered it since then, but at least the notes that I found was from this time last year, when it was Chinese New Year also. Um, so I did a little session around the Year of the Dragon, and today is Chinese New Year Eve, so tomorrow is Lunar New Year. And I thought I would talk a little bit about the symbolism of the Year of the Wood Snake, which is what we're entering into, and we could do a meditation practice with some of those themes because they're just very top of mind for me, having been doing quite a lot of research into the wood snake. Is anyone? I'm actually a snake. This is my year. Is anyone else a snake? Feel free to put that in the chat if you happen to know if you are or not. And so the elements, we've got 12 zodiac animals, and there's 5 elements, and the elements cycle through those animals. So the wood snake, that this is kind of once every 60 years there'll be a wood snake. And there's certain characteristics of the wood snake as well. It kind of the elements give it a different characteristic. So yeah, there's a few snakes as well. Um, so snakes get quite a bad rep, I must say. I never really like being being a snake. But they're actually seen to be very lucky in China. They are mini dragons, seen as mini dragons, and if a snake appears in your house, it's supposed to be very fortuitous. So they represent good fortune, and they're seen to be kind of a spiritual visitor in your home. And they have certain qualities or characteristics, and the kind of light suggestion around the zodiac animals is that it's a nice time to think about the characteristics of this animal and how it might play out in your own life, how you can um, kind of call on those qualities to help you, to support you. Um, and the snake is a grounded animal. It's connected to the earth, so it helps us to stay steady and centered in change. It's also very sensitive, high sensitivity, so it comes with a lot of intuition and wisdom. And it is also an animal that sheds its skin. So there's something around renewal and transformation as well that we can start to think about at this time of year in this transition into the year of the snake. And in particular, the wood element brings a lot of that new growth as well, creativity, new beginnings. So quite a positive year, I would say, to be going into to help kind of stabilize us, especially perhaps feeling like it's been quite a turbulent start of the year in terms of world events. So let's begin with our practice. So kind of weaving in some of that as we start to practice together. And we're going to do a practice of tuning into our external and internal environment. So we're going to begin with a practice of orientating. Some of you might have done this before, but it's a practice that can help us to feel safe by taking in our external environment, and it actually connects us to our reptilian brain and tells that part of our brain to feel safe, essentially. So we're going to start just by taking a look around us. So getting familiar with the surroundings that you're in. And as you look, you might be taking in colors, shapes, light, and also noticing certain objects. And as you do labeling those objects, what might they be? And making this a 360 as well. So even looking behind you and above you and below you. And once you've had a good look around, you're familiar with your space. We're going to find our seats if we haven't already, coming into a place where we feel comfortable, and this might involve a little bit of movement. So maybe there's a gentle sway from side to side, feeling into your seat, maybe creating some circles with the pelvis. It's a practice of rooting ourselves in this position, in this place that we're in. And then once you find a sense of steady center with your sit bones on this chair, and some of you might be lying down, you might be making these small movements lying down. Thanks for that reminder, Ezzy. And coming into a place of stillness. It's a place where your body can feel comfortable, relaxed, but also alert. So if you are seated, that might mean sitting a little bit more forward in your chair. You can allow the back to be supported with both feet steady on the ground, so feet at about shoulder width distance, your hands resting on your lap or your thighs. And if you're lying down, it might mean finding a support for your head. It might mean allowing your arms to release by your side, palms facing up, or placing your hands somewhere that feels supportive on the body. Could be on the belly, or it could be one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. And if you haven't already, if it feels comfortable, inviting your eyes to close. And as we start to settle, let's invite our awareness to sink into the body. So we have opened up sense perception around us, noticing our environment, and now it's time to take that perception inwards. So thinking about our snake friends, that high sensitivity to internal to external environments. And let's begin by noticing where the ground meets us. So if you're sitting, noticing the feet on the ground, and also your sit bones on the chair. And for those of you lying down, noticing the whole back of the body resting here, legs, arms, and your head. And how might it be to allow the ground, the earth, to meet you? On this next exhale, sinking and softening into this support. And to start to feel into our sense experience, we're going to be doing a body scan. But before we begin, let's start by checking in with our emotional, our mental landscape. And for me, I find it helps to imagine my emotions or what might be happening in my mind like the weather. So comparing it to the weather. So how is your emotional weather right now? Maybe it's feeling stormy. Maybe it's foggy, misty, clear and bright. Or maybe with a raging, burning sun. Maybe it's not quite any of those and it's somewhere in between. Noticing however you are arriving in this moment. Let's start to begin with our body scan. So working our way through our body, noticing sensations that might arrive. And just to say as well, for many of us who live in busy urban environments, quite often we can feel shut off from sensations, from being overstimulated a lot of the time. So It can take a little while to start to feel into this. So if you don't sense anything as we work our way through, know that that's okay. Just bringing your awareness to each body part is helpful, has benefit. So starting from the very top of your head, noticing the whole area of your scalp from the front of the hairline, the sides, all the way to the back where it meets the top of the neck. And as you scan across, noticing what sensations might be here. And as you notice, can you label whether it's heat, coolness, a tingling, a sense of your hair perhaps on your scalp? Spending a few moments here. Let's travel down and around. So making your way to your face, noticing the forehead, the temples, perhaps a natural softening that arrives just when you bring your awareness here. Noticing your eyes in their sockets, your cheeks, your jaw, and your tongue in your mouth. Let's travel down the neck, resting your awareness in your shoulders. What do you notice here? Sensations across the skin, perhaps deeper down into the muscle. Noticing if that awareness allows the shoulders to drop just an inch. And then we'll come to the front of the body, noticing the top of the chest. Maybe sensation is a bit more obvious here as you notice the rhythm of your breath and the movement of the breath in this part of the body. Traveling down to the solar plexus, the mid chest. And then down to your belly. Maybe noticing if your belly is soft, released, or are you holding some tension here? And what other sensations can you feel around the space of the belly? Noticing the whole front of the body here, or the chest. So the front of the torso from the top of the chest down to the belly. Something interesting I learned about snakes is that they have high sensitivity to vibrations through the ground that they feel through their soft bellies. So they can sense predators, animals around them. They're just spending a few moments feeling into the soft front of your body. And then we'll travel from here to the back of the body, starting at the top, noticing the top of the back. Noticing the mid-back. And the lower back. So the echo of the breath, perhaps a little quieter here, but can you still notice it? And then we'll go from here, traveling back up the body to make our way down our right arm. Allowing your awareness to flow down the top of the right arm, the elbow, the forearm, and your hand. Noticing the palm of your right hand. Maybe sensation is a bit more obvious here. Temperature, the texture of your clothes against it, or whatever your hand is resting on. Noticing each of your fingers here, going from the pinky finger, ring finger, middle finger, index and thumb. And we're going to travel from here over to the left arm. Traveling down the top of the left arm, the elbow, the forearm, and the left hand. What do you notice in your left hand? Counting through each of the fingers like we did on the other side. Noticing if there's any difference perhaps in your what you can sense in the left hand compared to the right. Now we're traveling back down through the torso into our seat. Noticing the buttocks. Perhaps noticing the pressure of the ground beneath the buttocks, or your chair beneath your sit bones. Noticing the pelvis. And then we'll start flowing down the right leg, back of the thigh, front of the thigh, your knee, calf, shin, ankle, and your right foot. The top of the foot, and the bottom of your foot. What do you notice? The touch of your socks, temperature, anything else? And let's not forget each of our toes on that right foot, counting through them, saying hello to each one. And then we'll travel on over, back up through that leg, through the pelvis, and over to the left leg. Noticing the top of the left thigh, back of the thigh, front of the thigh. Left knee. Calf. Shin. Ankle. And your left foot. Top of the foot. And sole of the foot. And each of your toes here as well. How does that left foot compare to the right? Anything that you notice different, perhaps? So now that we have heightened our sense perception through the whole body, from the top all the way down to the bottom, let's start to take in this body as a whole again, broadening the awareness back out, noticing the whole body sitting here, lying here. Does it feel any different? More whole, connected, perhaps? More sensitive to a sensory experience? And we bring this meditation to a close, just like we did at the start. We're going to, with our eyes still closed, start to make some gentle movements just to feel into the body moving. So it could be wriggling fingers, it could be wriggling toes, taking a roll of the shoulders. If you're lying down, you could turn your head left and right, massaging into the back of the head. Might even feel good to make a bigger movement, a long stretch, just feeling into whatever your body needs in this moment. Where does it want to go? And whenever you're ready, opening the eyes, taking in colors, lights around you, shapes and objects again. You're taking your time here, there's no rush. Thank you so much for practicing. And yeah, wishing everyone a really good year of the snake. It's yeah, all about finding our opening up to sensitivity, intuition, finding steadiness and grounding, which I think can serve us well. So wishing all of that for you. At this point, do we unmute and say goodbye? Mark, you can let me know what happens. Be nice.
Yes, that's right, Emma. So everyone's now unmuted, so they can now say goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, goodbye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Happy New Year, Emma. Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
Thank you, and happy
Thanks,
New
Emma.
Year.
Bye.
Thank you,
everyone.
Emma. Bye-bye.
Bye, Emma.
And
Bye, Emma. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Emma.
Thank you, Emma.
Thank you.
Thank you.